Today is April 1st, 2020. I'm going to be doing the Jesus and Mary Chain's Psychocandy. Came out in November 1985. I'm just going to do track listing, time, and give credit where credit is due, and then we'll get right fucking into it. I will also say I do lyrics at the fucking very end. I also will not be doing any of the bonus tracks or whatever if I ever end up doing a B-sides for Jesus and Mary Chain, which I probably fucking won't. But anyway, first track is Just Like Honey, 303. Second track is The Living End at 216. Third is Taste the Floor at 256. Fourth track is The Hardest Walk at 240. Fifth is Cut Dead at 247. Sixth is In a Hole at 302. Seventh is Taste of Cindy at 142. Eighth is Never Understand at 257. Ninth is Inside Me at 309. 10th is Sowing Seeds at 250. 11th is My Little Underground at 231. 12th is You Trip Me Up at 226. 13th is Something's Wrong at 401. And 14th is It's So Hard at 237. And for credits, you got Jim Reed as vocals and guitars, William Reed as vocals and guitar, Douglas Hart for bass, and Bobby Gillespie for drums. I don't think I mentioned Karen Parker for backing vocals, and Lawrence for Folly doing also backing vocals. I guess before starting, this album in particular was very minimal in ways. The drummer just had I think a very small portion of the drum set that he used. So I mean, in terms of saying when you use colors or whatever, they were using very few colors, which made things I guess easier for them. But I mean, a 14-track album, I mean, honestly, it does get a little repetitious. I mean, I've listened to this album beforehand. I mean, there's something about this album, that just makes it very different, kind of new. I mean, shoegaze was kind of starting up, but just the noise. I mean, just it's a fucking beautiful album in certain aspects for sure. Daunting in others. First track is Just Like Honey. I mean, this is probably their most popular song. In my opinion, it's not their greatest. I do think that there's a couple, if not 3 or 4 tracks that are way better than this track off of this album alone. However, it's a really good introduction to their sound and what they're going to be doing for the rest of the fucking album. Right off the bat, it's perfect music to listen to at a fucking prom or a ball in high school. I mean, don't get me wrong, Just Like Honey is a good song. It's a really good song. Periodically, they kind of jump around from this fast-paced punk noise sound to kind of a rock and roll ballad with noise. I mean, noise is... it's noise rock, I really do think that, shoegaze is a sub-category of noise rock. So you got, regular old... You got rock, alternative rock, noise rock, shoegaze. I mean, the guitar work is brilliant. It's very effective. In the music video, you get an example of what the drum setup looks like. I mean, personally, I really don't like introduction songs. I think they're just kind of... I mean, they have their place, I guess, but it's just me personally, I don't fucking care for them. But this is, I would say a pretty nice introductory song for an album to start off of. Lastly, I'll say for Just Like Honey, instrumentally, it's very contained. Nobody's really stepping out of line. It's pretty clean, besides, the noise. Nobody was really doing anything fancy. I mean, past them, obviously the sound itself, is a new sound, kind of just this rock and roll noise. Or noise rock and roll. I mean, no one was, there was no, real drum fills or anything like that. Just fucking, I mean, I don't think there even was a drum fucking fill. Living End now starts off with that aggressive, fast-paced, punk, noise rock sound. I mean, almost has, a surf rock sound, but, once again, the noise is a tidal wave. The goth dance is just, standing up, and then just kind of slightly turning to the right, bobbing your head, and then slightly turning to the left, bobbing your head, and repeat. You can add a little jingle to your body, but that's pretty much the goth fucking rock dance. I should mention this is goth rock, or rather, elements of goth. As for song structure, they don't really change too much up. I mean, it's just pretty consistent. They do their fucking song, they sing it, and once when they're done, it's over. The amount of minimalism kind of reminds me of Suicide, the band. Taste the Floor has such a fucking strong ass startup. I mean, it's such a the guitar work is fucking awesome in this. This is like once again noise rock to the fucking to its greatest. Get used to that drum beat. I will say for Jim and Will, they sing. I mean, I really like their singing, but I mean, once again, like if I was in their shoes, I would like definitely sing it a little more. I'd like feel so insecure how they're singing, but once again, they're doing a good job. And this is how I feel about like like Ian Curtis and Ferris Badwan. Like I don't know, I personally, I mean, even fucking like Lou Reed and etc. etc. I've talked about this previously on the podcast where I did LSD at a festival, and I heard someone playing with a chainsaw. They were making this art using wood, and they were playing to the music that was playing on stage, and it sounded so industrial. It sounded so natural. I was like, that's the kind of music I want to fucking make. And I mean, Taste the Floor, for example, I mean, like, there's a couple more tracks on this album that just give that example, and it's just like, goddamn. I mean, when they hit the fucking target, they fucking hit the bullseye, man. This is fucking, without a doubt, one of the greatest songs I've ever fucking heard. I mean, I've heard this song many times, but I just want to say that. I mean, realistically, it just kind of is like a noisy surf rock. I mean, for the most part, the song structure doesn't change pretty much ever, other than, obviously, the guitar will get, like, more noisy, or I guess noisier. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, man. It's just this is my kind of fucking music, man. Whenever someone says like you gotta change up your song structure or whatever the fuck, I just like this is one example I can show them. I mean, if they don't like this, they're probably not gonna like my music. The Hardest Walk kind of returns back to this like rock and roll ballad. I mean, with noise, but I mean their guitar work is definitely phenomenal. And they got I'd say their bass is pretty much kind of like punk rock, and the drums are mostly just a simplistic rock and roll beat. Once again, the song structure is the same. I mean, once when they stop singing, it's over, essentially. Cut Dead is a slower rock and roll ballad. I mean, there is slight variation on some of the drum beats, but I mean, once again, I mean, when you only use so many fucking, drums, you kind of just, or percussion fucking instruments, you're kind of, I don't know, limited for sure. It's effective, don't get me wrong, but obviously, it is kind of a little repetitious eventually. I also say, so far, Cut Dead was also their least noisiest track. I'd definitely say In a Hole is probably their loudest so far. I wonder if they destroyed any equipment while recording. Pretty much by this point, one guitar is just a blender. Another guitar is kind of playing, surf rock once again. It just sounds like, riding this taller tidal wave, just fucking surfing on top of it. I mean, I would say this wave's made of fucking electricity, man. You do not want to fall in. The bass and the drums are effective. I mean, once again, very simple, very minimal, but once again, very effective. Taste of Cindy continues that tidal wave of noise. It's a really short song, but I really like the song. Definitely another prom or ball dance song. And I mean, I don't know how many times I'm going to have to say it, but I mean, once again, the song structure is pretty much the same the entire fucking time. So for Never Understand, this is probably the first time they kind of really changed, I would say, the drum pattern. They kind of sped it up, halfway through the song. But, it definitely is starting to get to that point where it's just like, it's, even though this is a new sound they're coming off with for this album, like, it is starting to kind of like, wane, at least on me, man. Just another noisy, surf rock song. Just this time with faster drums and a little bit of screaming at the end. Inside Me, however, is a pretty dope-ass song. It's another one of my favorites off this album. I mean, I'm not gonna lie though, same song structure, it sounds pretty much identical to the last couple songs, but personally, I do fucking like this one. I mean, overall, the main vocal points would be the guitar work and obviously the vocals. The bass and drums are just like as simple as can be foundation. I mean, there's definitely something intriguing about that. That's why I like it. There's still about like 5 tracks left after this as well. Sowing Seeds sounds pretty identical to Just Like Honey. Very slight variation. There is like such barely a fucking difference between those two songs, man. I mean, I could definitely see someone's point when they say like, you gotta change your song structure up just slightly, but My Little Underground is similar to Never Understand, but I'll say it sounds a little bit more lo-fi. Kind of like hazier. I mean, the vocal melody is slightly different. I mean, yeah, overall it's slightly different, but it definitely is, it's just kind of like a part 2. So, if you want to look in the eyes of not bashing it perspective, it's just a part 2. I just think 10 tracks is a very magical number for an album. By You Trip Me Up, it's just the drum line, it's just once again pretty much the same throughout the entire album for the most part. You Trip Me Up is kind of like, rock and roll ballad, but like they brought on the aspects of that aggressive kind of fast-paced noise, but it's not fast-paced, it's just kind of, a blending of those two sounds that they were, going for the last couple, not last couple, but like the last 10 tracks. 11 tracks. You Trip Me Up definitely has, I guess, a slight enough variation to be its own thing, though. These tracks don't sound necessarily bad, they just sound pretty identical. If you have no problem with that, you're probably going to enjoy every single track on this album, and you're probably going to enjoy the B-sides, and you're going to enjoy the bonus tracks beyond that. The drum pattern on Something's Wrong is slightly different. The song's structure overall is pretty consistent with the rest of the album being not really different at all throughout the entire song. By this point, it's just like the two fucking types of songs put together where it was like that noise, rock and roll ballad kind of music and fucking the aggressive, fast-paced noise rock. Not as fast-paced, not as ballady. It's So Hard is the last track, and it's a pretty predominantly bass-driven track. I'd say it's pretty much surf rock. You got some elements of noise. Clearly, that tidal wave's still there. It's kind of like the bass is being chased by the noisy guitars. The drums are like the mining cart on the rails in a cave. The bass has been riding the drums the entire fucking album. The lyrics for Just Like Honey kind of romanticizes this girl. It almost sounds like this reluctancy to want to come back to this person. The narrator feels kind of used and feels like they're eating shit all the time. They do seem to have intimate feelings for this person, though. The Living End is criticizing motorcyclists that go too fast. It kind of tells a story about the consequences of going too fast. In this example, it ends with the motorcyclist crashing into a tree. I'm moving so fast that I can't control the wheels. Yeah, I'm going for a tree. Yeah, it's going for me. Yeah, my head is dripping into my leather boots. In general, the song is just about the egotistical and selfish nature someone has when doing something so dangerous. The first verse for Taste the Floor kind of deals with not being able to grasp handling normalcy. It just seems to always kind of just like slip on by, which kind of leads to this destruction or destructive feeling. Verse 2 kind of describes the noisy sound that they've been going for and the feelings that they want to portray. The last couple of verses kind of deal with a girl that kind of just, walks over someone, like, doesn't give a shit about this person, just sees them as insignificant, as lower. The last verse kind of just accepting their situation for what it is. It kind of says, I'm happy in my box. I don't know if they're talking about a casket. So they could be sarcastic in saying that they're feeling fine. The Hardest Walk kind of sounds like the acceptance of a relationship kind of ending. The person kind of just saying how they don't feel like, well, specifically when your words and your touch just struck me numb, and it's plain to see that it's dead. The thing swims in blood and it's cold, stony dead. It's so hard not to feel ashamed. It's fucking over. And kind of the other part is like, the hardest walk you could ever take is the walk you take from A to B to C. So it's just kind of like putting two and two together in a sense. Just takes some time, I guess. And it's also a path that people often don't want to take. Some prefer to accept to live in denial. For Cut Dead, this person seems to still be around at least a person that keeps like slowing them down and hurting them. I think the song could also relate to a parent or a family member, anyone close to somebody. Whether they can leave the situation or not is another thing, but it doesn't sound like they can or don't want to. For In a Hole, this person is kind of just talking about how they can see the other side, but whether they can actually get to the other side or not is another thing. If they're just deciding not to go to the other side, then they're just kind of complaining for no reason at all. Talking about God spitting on their soul. To me, it just sounds like the message is just life is unfair. Boo-hoo. From what I'm getting for Taste of Cindy, it's someone fawning over another person, but that other person doesn't feel the same way, or maybe they do, but regardless, they're seeing other people, so it's just not a serious thing. So this person's kind of like got to get over this person, but if it's like a fresh wound, it's probably gonna take some time to heal. The last couple of songs kind of have been portraying like the peeling back of skin as for the relationship. The track Never Understand seems to be about not being understood in a relationship and just kind of finally accepting leaving. The narrator is saying that the other person doesn't even believe them, and let alone doesn't even fucking agree with them, so is constantly disagreeing with them. That just sounds like it's pretty much fucking over, man. The lyrics for Inside Me are pretty ambiguous so far, the very first couple of verses and even the chorus. I could be stretching, but it kind of sounds like the narrator's referring to the music, almost being like a tidal wave of sorts. Some of the things he's seen has caused his head to expand metaphorically, but I'm sure probably just he's probably thinking too much, essentially. Probably a lot of fucking dark thoughts, I imagine. The very end just keeps on saying it's living inside me. So if you view the glass half empty, it's just a bunch of negative energy inside this person. Or this could be the other way around, and for some reason kind of like this person's got a power growing inside of them. Sowing seeds is weird as fuck, man. Just in terms of just hold on. Yes, I should be on my phone, and this is 1985, so people were probably using their phone to call, but there was no cell phones. But then it goes, I'll go where that apple goes. I touch with an apple touch. What the fuck? Either Steve Jobs was blown away by those lyrics, or he went into the past and fucking wrote those lyrics himself. It's like fucking advertisement for what's to come. It's definitely coincidental, but that's just fucking weird, man. A word salad. The track Sowing Seeds kind of sounds like this person's not fitting in the place that they are right now, but they do kind of have some level of hope, I guess. I feel as sharp as a carving knife, so I feel in love for the very last time. Saying I'm sick of the beating by everyone, and maybe by scattering seeds all over the place, they might have a chance at finding a place to fit in. My Little Underground sounds like the narrator is trying to find once again the place to fit in, which I guess is a hiding place. The metaphorical and literal fact that outside is cold leaves them wanting to stay inside. You Trip Me Up has a very similar message as some of the other songs before. It deals with love. It deals with someone sometimes treating this person as very cold, yet the person being treated so coldly is still sticking around because I guess they're still in love. Once again, it's a pretty similar message as before. This narrator just wishes that they could also kind of mirror the feeling that they're feeling to this other person so that the other person might be able to understand how they're feeling, aka empathy or sympathy, at least. Sounds like moments of apathy. For something's wrong, time seems to be going by for this person, yet they still are lonely. They still, are looking for someone almost in a desperate nature. This person's realizing that they finally need to change. This person talks about how these days are so much colder, how there's been shitty years behind them and how there's probably going to be shitty years ahead of them. Definitely a perspective of the glass is half empty. Pretty fucking nihilistic. The track It's So Hard is just pretty much saying that life is so hard. I mean, that it's hard to find love. It's hard to walk tall. A poem in the head of a poet that's dead. All our life is dead, so it seems. All our life is dreams, so that basically, all our dreams are pretty much fucking bullshit. Extremely nihilistic, for sure. If I could be honest, this album just comes off as pretty pretentious, overly nihilistic, extremely repetitious. It definitely has its moments. I mean, overall, it's not too fucking annoying being repetitious. 10 tracks would have just made it too fucking short of an album. They also kind of step away from this noise rock kind of genre and kind of head towards more of like just alternative rock in general. Which is kind of sad because it's like I want to see what they could have done with it more, but I mean, I guess this is all you got to fucking see for this album. It's pretty much an album for kids in their late teens. I guess there's some adult themes to it. It just sounds like some examples of some of the feelings and emotions one would have in early relationships. Specifically, relationships when you're young. So I saw an interview by them about a year or so, or even more ago, where they were bashing Joy Division. And there's definitely some moments where you could see potential like post-punk elements, but for the most part, they are kind of just doing like surf rock, but applying noise to it. I don't really see post-punk. I mean, there are elements of punk for sure, but I mean, once again, it's like kind of like just noisy surf rock. Early attempts at shoegaze. Basically shoegaze before it was shoegaze. Overall, the guitar work is probably the best on it. I mean, the vocals are pretty cool too. I mean, the bass and the drums are pretty minimal. I mean, they're just, once again, just some kind of foundation just to, keep the metronome going. There's definitely originality in it, but I mean, the real question is like, why did they go for such minimalism on the drums? I mean, is it because they just like only had so much room in the car, or were they just trying to actually go for something experimental of sorts? I mean, there definitely is some experimentation in it, but at the same time, though, like the idea should have gotten abandoned at some point. Like they just like, all right, just fucking finally apply another fucking drum in there, man. Maybe a fucking cymbal. There are definitely elements of punk. I mean, besides like some of the lyrics and some of the vocals patterns, the bass lines, even the guitar work. The songs were pretty short. The tempo was often at a fast pace. There were rules that were not being followed. Plenty of forms of rebellion. It was pretty simplistic. I mean, part of punk music is that like pretty much anyone could fucking pick it up and play it. It often would have musicians or members that were very inexperienced performing an instrument. I mean, literally, the drums and the bass were literally, I mean, I've said this already fucking probably, now this is the fourth time, but like literally playing as minimal as possible at times. Even the band Suicide, who has very simple song structures as well, has a lot of variation in their songs. Simple song structure, but they all sound different. Don't get me wrong, I'm all about consistency. I mean, they could have kept the guitar work, they could have kept the vocals, but like the bass and the drums, man, they just, some kind of variation more than what they were already doing. To me, it just was not enough to appreciate them more than I do. Tooting my own horn, I'm always concerned about trying to make sure that every single drum track is different. I don't want to do just a generic rock beat over and over again. Or even like a generic punk rock beat or a generic electronic drum beat or etc., industrial, whatever. I don't want to make the same song. And from what I've seen, based on all those B-sides and the bonus tracks, it looks like there's almost like 30 fucking tracks. Imagine seeing that live, open to fucking end. I'm sure a niche audience would be into that, but I certainly wouldn't. So what did I like overall about this fucking album? They took chances. They were very experimental. There definitely was some originality to it, but that originality really lost its focus by the fucking 14th track. I'd say even earlier. I mean, I will say personally, I do like loop some of my drum samples, but I mean, still at the very least, I mean, each song, I mean, I don't do that for every single fucking song, because I just know that that's just bland and boring. There really wasn't too much political commentary as far as I saw. It was mostly like social interactions, isolation, not being able to fit in, and also just having like relationship troubles, but not wanting to or not being able to leave, which I'll say is mostly kind of commentary that gothic rock would usually have. It's gothic rock, there's elements of surf rock, noise rock, even rock ballad. I'm really stretching by this point, so I don't really think there's much more I can say. Joy Division is better. Thanks for listening, and take care. Apparently Jim sang on most of the songs as lead, except for It's So Hard, which Will sang the lead.